Say there's a lot of legends and folk heroes and players in NHL history that everybody agrees when you hear their name, certain things come to mind. If you say to a Canadian, what do you think of it, Ed Van Impe? They'll say, they're going home, they're going home. You say that to an American, you have no bloody idea what you're talking about. We're going to get into this very soon, how he almost single-handedly caused the Russian national team to quit games against the NHL, or what they call friendlies. There was no friendly. Now, he was considered one of the most rugged and talented defensemen of his generation. And again, if he basically freaked out the Russians, that alone should get him to Hockey Hall of Fame, because all the crap we had to put through in the 70s with the Russians and the International Hockey Federation, how he treated him, this guy almost ended that all in one fell bump. Now, Ed Van Impe played in the NHL for the Blackhawks, Flyers, and Penguins. Now, he first came to major prominence for the Saskatoon Quakers, one of the best teams at the SJHL, the Saskatchewan Association. He played 4 seasons there. His best campaign came in 1960, where he had 53 points in 58 games. Now, he moved on to Calgary Stampeders of the WHL, but was mired in the Buffalo Bison's system for several years. He played 5 years in the minors, and you knew something was going to happen, because with expansion, that was allowing a lot of longtime AHL pros to go into the new AHL, where it expanded from 6 to 12 teams. Now, he saw his first NHL action with the Blackhawks in '67. Now, he had a solid rookie year, and eventually was number 2 to Bob Orr for, of all things, the Calder Trophy. So he was the second best defenseman in the league in that season. Now, left unprotected for the expansion draft that year, I don't know what Chicago was thinking. Maybe they were trying to protect other players. The Flyers picked Van Impe off the Blackhawks roster. He played 8.5 seasons with the Flyers, and was one of the team's most popular and best defensive blue liners, serving as the second captain in franchise history from 68 to 73. Now, known for his massive hits and his fearless shot blocking, he was also perfected the method to clear opponents for the area of his team's net, which, the grab and push, we used to call it. Now, unofficially, the team was known as the Broad Street Bullies, and technically he was their second lieutenant. And he would not often drop the gloves in what he called intimidation. He dropped the gloves because whatever the situation would entail. Now, with the Flyers, they won 2 cups in '74 and '75. Now, the cups led to a very unique situation when the Red Army team, or the unofficial Russian national team, decided to take monetary compensation to play a Super Series against numerous NHL teams. The stronger teams in the league, including Montreal, Buffalo, and the Flyers, were put on the list. Now, Boston and the Flyers. Montreal had tied Red Army before this game occurred. Now, on January 11th, 1976, Red Army went to Philadelphia to go into the Spectrum, which is like sending a virgin into the middle of a Roman Colosseum. The fans were screaming. The fans were, Russians go home, communists, communists, communists. And it was a memorable exhibition game. The Flyers dominated physically and on the score sheet from the start. Now, Van Impe, who was never one to back down from anybody, he had just finished serving a hooking penalty. He left the penalty box and decided to immediately place a hit on the Soviet Union's superstar Valery Harlamov. Now, I watched that game live. Harlamov was faking. Allegedly, he was knocked unconscious, but I don't think he was. I think they were just looking to draw a penalty. Anybody unconscious would be moving as much as he did. Now, he was laid prone on the ice for a short while. Van Impe's hit was not penalized because the referee probably saw it was a partial dive, and the Soviets, totally freaked out, decided to leave the ice midway through the first period in protest and our Canadian CBC announcers start talking. In 72 we took it, in 74 we took it, and here we have it now. They're going home. You push them around a little bit, and he said they're going home. Now, he said, the Russian interpreter or representative said, oh, they're not here to play goon hockey, but they only came back in the ice when they were threatened that they would lose their money for the series, which was $200,000 US, if they did not return, and thus the legend was born. Of course, the Flyers lost the Stanley Cup later that year to Montreal in losing in a 4-game sweep, but Ed Van Impe continued to be a strong Flyer, legend, even though he moved on to Pittsburgh later on that season. I don't think he moved on to Pittsburgh just because it hit, but I think the Flyers were looking at getting a younger bunch of rear guards to guide the squad. Now, Van Impe ended up with 153 points in 700 NHL games, including 13 points in 66 playoff games. Again, he's I think personally his best season was that Stanley Cup year in 74, where they had 18 points in 77 games, including 3 games in the playoffs. But Van Impe, basically at his best, was the type of defenseman every championship team needed, and he proved that not only in the back-to-back, but he was the Flyers through and through. You look at all the Flyer lineup of that mid-70s, and I don't think Philadelphia would have won the Cup without Van Impe, because you need as much defensive defenseman you do offensive defenseman on a squad that's going to score upwards of four goals a game. You gotta score, but you gotta protect the lead, and that's what he did. But boys, oh boys, we're so happy to see the Russian laying prone. I mean, obviously you don't want to see anybody hurt, but the Russians were fake all the time. Look at, if you ever watched this before, go on YouTube and watch Game 8 of the Summit Series, the first 10 minutes of that first period, how they fucked us over regarding those calls. So, and Bobby Clark was one of the instigators that led us to beat the Russians in 72. So you think it, or he wasn't on the bench with Van Impe, and he said, remember what I did with that Russian player when he broke his ankle? Why don't you just put the fear of God in him? So he shouldn't be just known for that, because Ed Van Impe was an all-around great player. Have a good day. Bye.